A pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am your presenter, Larry LaRock. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, Dominica's OAS ambassador passes away. Opposition wins in Bahamas. US foils new underwear bomb plot by Al-Qaeda in Yemen. Cicero girls and New India Goodwill runners records victories. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Senior Information Technology IT students of the Orion Academy put on a special display assembly to celebrate ICT for Girls Week on May 4th. The activities were late observance of Girls in ICT Day, which is part of the activities organized by the Ministry of Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment in recognition of World Telecommunication and Information Systems Day. The theme of this year's World Telecommunication and Information Systems Day is Women and Girls in ICT.
And we have been encouraging organizations, schools, public places to highlight ICT activities that are engaged in particularly by women, to promote careers in ICT among girls and women, and also to acknowledge those who have already gone ahead and done that.
ICT Girls Week is meant to promote young women in the ICT field, as this is a field that is traditionally dominated by men. The Ministry of Information, Telecommunication and Constituency Empowerment seeks to promote young women taking up careers in that field. The IT teachers across the country are therefore asked to participate in events that will further cause and promote young ladies being part of the IT movement in Dominica.
Well, today we have a special assembly, and the students planned all of the activities for the assembly. They prepared a video, they prepared PowerPoint presentations and different demonstrations, and the demonstrations are meant to show what they have been doing so far, what they enjoy about IT, and also to show what some of the women that they researched have been accomplishing in the field of ICT.
Featured speaker at the assembly, Mrs. Avril Coppel, the Senior Manager of Information Systems at the Aid Bank, recognizes the celebration of ICT Girls Week as vital, seeing that there is a lack of women in the prominent IT positions on the island.
When I think about it, I realize that really truly there are not that many of us, particularly in Dominica, working actively in the ICT field, not as expert users, but as people who are actually driving the development of the industry.
She went on to encourage the young women to think past the idea it is purely technical, menial, or a man's area of expertise, and see it as an interesting and attractive industry.
ICT is an extremely exciting field. Something's always happening. It is something where you will always find innovation. Every day you see simple things like new phones, different ways for machines to interact with our lives, things that in medical technology that are so exciting. You cure diseases with machines, you know, and we look at different software that has developed, and everything now is ICT. So there's always a place for women in there, and women with their different perspective from men can lend so much to the industry, learn so much to how it is developed and how it is that we place ICT as a pillar in Dominica.
The main celebrations will culminate with International Telecommunication Information Security Day celebrations on May 15th. Health-conscious persons flocked to the University of the West Indies Open Campus on May 6th for Dominica's 4th Annual Health and Wellness Expo. Visitors to the expo were presented with several different activities and exhibitions that catered to their health interests. Classrooms on the campus were transformed into massage parlors and yoga studios. An outdoor exhibition of nature and wellness and team architects offered visitors sample neck and hand massages. Ms. Martha Coffey of the Nature Isle Wellness Team Architects promoted the event as a positive activity for everyone involved.
This is actually not for tourists but for Dominicans to find out the variety of health and wellness services available, and also for the health and wellness practitioners to come together to connect, to share and also collaborate, because I do collaborate off and on with different people who come here and meet every year.
The event was an integral part of the Discover Dominica Tourism Awareness Month activities and showcases the abundance of natural health and wellness services and products there was in Dominica. It served as an educational experience which empowers participants to take care of their health with simple preventative measures.
Considering herbal medicines as part of our culture or heritage, you know, via the testimonies that we can find from our centenarians, you know, like Elizabeth Pampo, Mapampo, which you know, and many other centenarians that are there. I view them as the backbone of optimum health. So this is clear evidence that Dominica is a very unique place that you can find all the herbs that you need to eliminate the problems that we encounter from fibroid cysts, cancer, and the whole heap of diseases that we are bombarded with.
The expo also featured a grand exhibition of locally available health and wellness services and products and an idle foods bar with healthy vegan meals and snacks. Mr. Renald Deja, a local herbal physician, encourages Dominicans to appreciate the wealth of herbs the island is blessed with and the plethora of remedies they provide us with, which are free of charge.
There is an underlying state that we are in right now, and we need to get out of this state, and this state is really appreciating what is ours. Because I am a Dominican, I'm a born Dominican, and my duty is to defend what is mine. And herbal medicines, it is ours. Yours also, sister. I sure you can attest that your grandmother used herbs. I sure you can attest to that.
Most of the presenters and representatives of the various health and wellness businesses shared a similar sentiment of maintaining easy but efficient health practices.
Keep it simple. And there is so much available in the backyard of Dominica that we really don't have an excuse not to maintain at least a minimum level of wellness. You know, just even if you just focus on the coconut, that is a glorious plant, the oil, the water, the flesh. It has so many impacts, from building your immune system to helping with prostate. There are so many uses for that one particular plant.
A court judgment which ordered former owner of Mapping Telecoms and Broadcasting Ltd, MTNB, Mr. Ronald Abraham, to pay over $16 million to the company's liquidator, Mr. Kieran Pinardburn, has been overturned, and the matter will be sent back for retrial. Mr. Pinardburn had taken Mr. Abraham to court on behalf of MTNB's unsecured creditors and shareholders, whom he said lost all their money after the company went into receivership some years ago. However, Mr. Abraham said that the March 2012 judgment was done in his absence and he was never served or informed of the hearing. Speaking with Mr. Abraham, he said that one of the criteria set by the court for the hearing was that both sides agree on the date of the trial, but this was not done.
Through my lawyer, Mr. Lawrence, Lennox Lawrence, we argued that the decision violated the conditions set by the court, and as such, we believe that the decision arrived at that time should have been set aside. And after consideration of all the factors, the judge agreed to set the decision aside, which means we will now have to have a new trial.
He said during which time both parties will present their case, and he believes there will be a much better outcome than what took place.
I was very happy for the decision because, I mean, a major thing like this, asking some 16 million to be paid by me when I reported to the board of directors. I had a contract with the board of directors. They could have sacked me at any time if they were not satisfied with my performance. So I felt it was very unfair. We believe that when the facts are all heard, the outcome will be very different.
Mr. Abraham says that he was surprised and is grateful for the overwhelming support he received throughout the country during the case.
I want to thank God for coming to the defense of his servant, And I want to thank the people of Dominica who supported me throughout with prayers and on the radio and in the papers. So I'm very thankful for that, and I thank the judge for having the courage to set aside his own decision, and I thank my lawyer Lennox Lawrence in this matter.
Mr. Abraham is represented by attorney-at-law Lennox Lawrence. A two-day protest action by bus drivers operating in the communities of Soufriere, Scotshead and Gallia has been criticized by Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The protest commenced on Wednesday, May 2nd, and was done as the bus drivers were demanding work done to have the deplorable road conditions fixed to ensure the safety of the passengers they carry. However, the protest left school children and workers stranded has been described as unnecessary by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. He also said that in making demands to government, we all have to be reasonable.
The government is spending $33 million in Point Michelle building a seawall on your new road. And men and women are demonstrating for a few potholes in the road. What message are we sending to our children about our gratitude as a people? I am the Prime Minister of the country, and if you drive to my home in Montrose, you will see potholes in this road. And if you come to where I live, the government provides housing for me. The house is infested with termites. And in some rooms, there is no electricity because there are electrical problems.
Mr. Skerrit further pointed out some of the problems he faces as Prime Minister of Dominica.
And some of the taps cannot close because there are problems with the taps. This is the Prime Minister of Dominica's home. And in vehicles, sometimes I have no water to bathe. I have to take this blueberry spring water and catch a bath sometimes. There's no water in my home. So we have to be grateful as a people for what is happening in this country. We cannot curse the darkness instead of lighting the candle. What message are we sending to our children?
Mr. Skerrit went on to say we have to be grateful for what is happening in this country. However, Public Relations Officer of the Soufriere and Scotshead Bus Service, Mr. Fitch Donley, says they have no regrets since their concerns were falling on deaf ears.
Well, first of all, I want to compliment the Minister for quick response to the repairs on the road as requested due to the strike that we had on Wednesday and Thursday. I must say that it's been effective, and I think the strike took great effect upon the repairs on the road. And as we can see, as I speak right now, there's still repairs being done on the road. It is much safer now. Although there are lots of rocks on the road, well, this we can understand because the process that they're using is not the best, but however, it works.
Mr. Jones says besides what people may think, the protest was in no way politically motivated. It was for the safety of the passengers they carry and to reduce the damage which is done to their buses. However, sometimes your right can pass for your wrong, which Mr. Jones pointed out.
Due to the little strike, just for the potholes, there's so many villagers who are against us. Even up to this point, some of them don't board our buses. They say they're going to board the buses that were carrying them during the strike. Like I said to them, good luck.
The Public Relations Officer stated there should be no reason for this behavior since the protest was nothing personal and the job that is being done will benefit everyone who uses the road. He went on to give thanks to all the bus drivers who showed their support throughout the protest and also the Honorable Reuben Blackmore, Minister of Public Works, Energy and Ports, for a fast response to have the road fixed. 3 people were injured in an accident which occurred at the Woodridge Bay on Friday, May 4th. Acting Public Relations Officer of the Fire and Ambulance Service, Mr. Wayne Leta, explains.
Yeah. The fire department can report that an accident which took place at Woodbridge Bay on Friday the 4th of May 2012 at approximately 9:20 p.m. We can confirm that 3 vehicles were involved in that accident: a Subaru Forester, a Honda 4-wheel drive, and also a Suzuki Carry. At this accident, there were actually 6 victims, 3 of which suffered injury and the 3 others suffered minor injury.
Mr. Later indicated 6 victims were involved in the accident, however, only 3 of them were injured. Driver Mr. Francis Larond and passenger Cecilia Larond from the village of Concord suffered from minor injuries, as well as the driver of one of the vehicles, Mr. A.J. Rowe. He says all of the victims were rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital, PMH, however, they have been released.
All treated at the Princess Margaret Hospital and subsequently dismissed. The Subaru Forester in question was owned and driven by Mr. Cecil Laron, yes, and the Suzuki Carry and Honda partner were also involved. This accident occurred at Woodbridge Bay, as we said.
Mr. Later advises road users to be cautious when driving. He believes it is vital that drivers and road users are aware of the danger they put themselves in, as well as the public when speeding.
I would like to inform all road users to be very cautious whilst using Dominica roadways. The fire department always stands firm as we respond to this call, but we would like to encourage road users to be very careful, because some of these accidents can actually be averted. We would also like to extend our sincere thanks to all the officers who responded and performed the duties diligently. The injuries include A.J. Roll, who sustained injuries to his hip, Tima Roll sustained injuries to her leg, and also Cecilia Laron, who sustained injuries to her leg and her hands. As we said, they were all treated at the Princess Margaret Hospital and subsequently discharged.
He says that the road is not a racetrack, so therefore road users should respect the speed limits. Dominica's OECS ambassador, Mr. Charles Maynard, who dedicated his life to public service, has succumbed to his illness in the early hours on Tuesday, May 8th. Mr. Maynard served in government with the Dominica Freedom Party for 15 years under the Dame Eugenia Charles administration. He also was special advisor to the Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and OECS ambassador. Mr. Maynard held a variety of ministerial portfolios during his 15-year rule for the Dominica Freedom Party, DFP. The Dominica's Freedom Party leader, Ms. Judith Festina, says Mr. Maynard helped the country make inroads in primary health care when he was Minister of Health. In 2007, Mr. Maynard published a book entitled Pathways to Service, A Life in Public Speaking. However, in 2012, prominent Dominican attorney Justice Irvin Andre published a book entitled Charles Maynard, A Life in Public Service, which is a biographical piece which highlights his life accomplishments and career. Mr. Maynard died at the age of 78. 19-year-old Miss Nadira Lando has captured the title of Miss Caribbean World 2012. Miss Lando copped the awards for Best Costume, Best Swimmer, which included Miss Photogenic, at the pageant, which took place at the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Totola. Coming in the first runner-up position was BVI's Abigail Hindman, second runner-up was St. Lucia's Consuelo Dupal, and third runner-up was Cuba's Alana Rodriguez Roberts. Curaçao's Mavia Lawrence got the fourth runner-up position. Miss BVI copped the Most Intellect and Best Evening Wear awards, while Miss Congeniality award went to Curaçao and Best Talent went to USVI Temisha Libert. The ladies competed in swimwear costume, talent, evening wear, interview rounds, and a total of 16 other young women competed in the pageant. There was a total of 17 contestants from across the Caribbean competing in the pageant. This was the first regional crown won by Miss Lando since she was crowned Miss Dominica 2012 for the carnival season. The public believes that she follows the footsteps of Miss Nakita Bruno, who won the crown in 2006, also Miss Mara Walters in 2008, and Marcia Baptiste, who won it in 2010. We now go to reporter Miss Desin Josie for a report on Mayfest 2012.
Marigot was full of action as Dominicans gathered to celebrate Mayfest 2012. The festivities commenced on May 4th to May 7th and boasted 100% local entertainment of all genres, a calypso explosion that featured more than 15 of Dominica's top calypsonians. A church service took place on Sunday morning, followed by a local band splash that presented local bands and artists from around the island, which included Asa Banton and the WCK Band. Not only was there musical entertainment at the festival, there were other events such as Mayfest Miss North East Queen Show and the Breadfruit Festival. Mayfest winner 2012 Miss Shanice Edwards from the village of Cassibrew says she was breathtaking to be crowned as Miss Mayfest 2012, and this did not come as a surprise to her friends and family.
Well, I feel quite happy, overexcited. Yeah.
Were you surprised?
No.
About the preparation?
Well, the preparation was quite good. I mean, a few corruptions along the way, but it was quite well.
Family, friends, and other people reacting and all that.
Oh, well, they're all overjoyed. I mean, it was no surprise to my sister especially, but the family, they are overjoyed.
And after God on this, what is the next step from this?
Well, I intend on trying the Miss Dominica next year.
Mr. Pascal indicated that in terms of the breadfruit competition, last year was enhanced, seeing that it was difficult to find breadfruits this year.
So far this year, things are going pretty well. You see that based on the weather. So the weather is good, it's fine for us. But every Mayfest, the weather is usually a problem. So we're just happy that the weather is fine. And people have been showing up to the various activities from the Calypso and Triple K on Friday. Queen show was a pretty good show, and the massive Asa Banton last night was something else.
Organizer of the event, Mr. Vin Alexander, believes this year's Mayfest was interesting due to the bands and the creative activities. Mr. Alexander says the Marigot Development Corporation over the years has been putting together the May Festival, and this has been 4 nights of exciting activities.
Well, this year it's not so different because we had a situation where we could hardly find breadfruit to supply for the festival. But by God's grace we found some, and we're really pleased to have gotten that. So today what we're going to have is the Breadfruit Festival featuring Fanatic Band and the Ecstasy Band. Ecstasy is a young band from Minister Band, and they're really impressive. So persons will get to see them and will form their minds about what the band is all about. The Fanatic, we know, is a really established group, so when you come, you're going to get an entire package. Like you can see in the background, we have the
Calypsonian Soulful says this year's festival was better and developed.
Well, this is much better because we're on the fisheries complex. A lot of activity, although we had a little rain, but today it's very nice, very interesting. Well, today we're going to the most interesting thing today. Somebody's going to win a CRV for $5. Somebody's going to drive a vehicle away today for $5. It's a CRV. Every year we do this as a part of Mayfest. What's that? Excuse me? I don't get you clearly though.
Members of the New Age Citizens, Mr. Joel Carbon and Jason Azil, says that they are trying to uplift Dominica in a positive way.
My name is Joel Carbon, aka True Shatter. That's Jason Azil, aka TJ. We go by the name of NAC, better known as NAC, but the original name is New Age Citizens. Well, we are trying to uplift Dominica in a positive way and to show that we could be the leaders of today.
It's Desmond Joseph reporting for SAT TV News. Back to you, Larry.
And in court news, we are all aware of the phrase, everyone deserves a second chance. But this was truly exercised on May 8th at the commencement of the May 2012 criminal assizes at the Roseau High Court. 20-year-old Shannon Oden, who was charged with wounding with intent, left the High Court a free man as the charge against him was discontinued upon request of the victim. The victim, Mr. Odilon Thomas, was in court, advised Justice Bernie Stevenson Brooks judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court assigned to Dominica, that due to personal reasons he would like the matter to be discontinued and he will not be giving evidence in court. He indicated to Justice Brooks that he also submitted his course of action in the matter to the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Jean Pestina, in a letter. Mr. Thomas was also questioned by Justice Brooks for the reason of his intention, whether he was beaten, bribed, forced, or intimidated, to which he all answered no. Mr. Oden, who was elated by the decision of his victim, thanked Mr. Thomas openly in court and also apologized to him for the incident, which he said that he will never do it again. Before leaving the court, Justice Brooks advised Mr. Oden to let this be a learning experience for him, so if he is in any trouble again that he will walk away from the situation. It was truly a situation of forgive and forget, as both the accused and the complainant walked out of the court together. The incident occurred in 2009. This has been a local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.